I'm going to record.
When you start? Okay.
Super.
Hey there, everybody, and welcome to our Zoom call today on charting your course for your best immune health. So clearly we are in the middle of interesting times. We could have a few hours of a Zoom just on that alone. But what we want to talk about today is how you can best support your immune system. So I'm on here with some other brilliant ladies, and we are all going to be sharing some tips with you over the next 30 to 40 minutes on some different things that are going to really help ground you, focus you, put you in the driver's seat of doing what you can do to keep your system strong. So I just want to preface it by saying that we're not making any claims here. We're not making any diagnosis or anything like that. We're just talking about general immune support. And in natural medicine, sorry, that's one of those alerts going off. That in the holistic natural medical world, we really work from the premise of when you have a really strong body, when you have a really strong system, when you have good cell-to-cell communication, that your body in its innate amazing wisdom knows what to do to deal with things that come at the body or into the body. So immune function is obviously, we know we have a natural innate immunity, and we also have other mechanisms in place that adapt our bodies to our environment so that we have immunity to different situations. For example, when we travel and we get introduced to different bacteria and viruses and parasites, that our body knows what to do with that. So I'm going to just start off by talking about the immune system in general. It's a system that involves our tonsils, our parotid glands, our thymus gland, which is right here at our chest, our lymph, which is all over the body, but primarily under the armpits, in the groin, behind the knees. We've got immune components in and around our small intestines, and actually even inside the linings of our intestines, called Peyer's patches. And they're very, very tied in to our immune function. So what we want to do is keep those on alert. We want to keep those on proper guard to be flagging and tagging different things that come into our body and identifying them as foreign material, and then they do their job. We have things called macrophages, and I just describe those as Pac-Man type organisms that go through the bloodstream, and they're just like little pack people going around all the time, scavenging for stuff. And also all of you who know us know that we have partnered with a company called Isagenix International, and we use that support system to help our bodies. And one of the ways that those nutrients and components, obviously we need nutrients to support our immune function. So for example, vitamin C and zinc and vitamin A, those are all very important components to actually help those little pack people work really, really well. And so obviously good eating is a big part of our mantra. It's eating clean, it's reducing coffee. And yes, I know the LCBO and the BC liquor stores, they're delivering, but try not to stock too much up on the alcohol. You know, give your liver some love, not always the alcohol. And I saw a very funny meme on some wine glass masks that somebody posted the other day. It was very funny. But we want to, limit those things that are going to be harder on our system, fatty foods, greasy foods. So this whole period of self-isolation, this is not the time to be going and sort of emotionally eating and snacking. And even though that's where we want to go, we really want to support you in some different decisions to not do that and to stay on track with your health and to keep moving. So we're going to have some different tips around that. So with our immune function, we also have natural killer cells. We have other factors from our thymus gland that are called helper cells. And these are all very important parts of our immune system that we need to have in place, functioning, and superfoods and super nutrients are what we need to help that happen. So eating your fruits and vegetables every day, and making sure that they're raw or lightly cooked as much as possible. And of course, there are times when we just can't get that. And now we're in uncertain times, and maybe we have to go to frozen foods or canned foods, because fresh foods, we don't know what the status of that is going to be down the road. But that is where we have superfood combinations that are scientifically, nutraceutically designed to support your system in all these areas. And we'll be supplying some links to that, or definitely go back to the person that invited you to this call and talk to them about the products that we use personally and recommend to all our clients and customers in order to support them through this time. So we are going to pass it on to Lori, and Lori's gonna talk a little bit about mindset and also breathing and grounding. Lori's an amazing person. I'm in Sechelt, BC, by the way. We should tell where we're from, the beautiful Sunshine Coast. And it's a little overcast and cloudy and rainy today, but it's Friday and it's still a great day. So, and I know Lori's in Ottawa. So Lori, I'm gonna pass it over to you.
Perfect, and thank you. And this is such a beautiful gift of time that this global staycation is offering, because in times of uncertainty, the question I love to ask myself and suggest everyone else ask is, what can you count on right now? Like, where there's no certainty moving forwards, the future is completely uncertain. For many people, their day-to-day external functioning is quite uncertain. Sometimes people are having to figure out how to work from home and they've never done that, or they're at home with their children and they have no clue how to homeschool their kids. What they are used to is completely uncertain. And what they had before, which is the past, wake up call, we're not going back there. That's what got us into this. So that is now part of what you call your past. So what is certain? What is certain is our bodies and what we choose to put inside of them, as Joanne was just saying, to keep our immune system strong, to keep our brain and our bodies calm, so that we can think clearly and we can take advantage of this amazing opportunity that we have been gifted by Mother Nature while she does her healing and goes within to restore and reset and revitalize. We too have, if we have half a brain to do this, we are being gifted the opportunity to do the same thing. And I was on a live yesterday and I said, this is going to end. It's not going to last forever, and it will end sooner than you think. And when it's over, and let's assume you go back to the rat race that you were in before, how are you going to look at this time? Did you actually take advantage of the pause that we've been given? Because the reality is everybody's on pause. Every business is on pause. You don't have to be productive in your to-do list. But what you do have to do is what Mother Nature is guiding us to do. And that is to go within and address, how is my immune system? What kinds of things and habits and patterns have I used in the past to deal with my fear, my uncertainty, or the parts of my life that I'm really not wanting to look at? And how am I coping? And what you've done in the past is probably where you're at now. So you might be that home delivery person with the pizza and the liquor store. And, is that serving you in this time? If that's been your coping mechanism up until now, it's going to show up really brightly right now. And there is a gift, there is an opportunity, because we're all in a pause, to do something different. And you've got this space to try it on. So that's the physical body that you can have absolute certainty about, knowing that you can control this. You get to control your health. The other thing is your breath, because the breath is yours. You own your breath, And we take it for granted because it's 24/7 from the moment we have our first breath until the moment we have our last. And we actually never know when that last breath is going to be, do we? We count on it being somewhere out there. So when we bring ourselves back to present moment, it's one of the easiest ways if you're that person who's in fear, anxiety, panic, low level, like you're just not handling this well and it's freaking you out, go to the breath, get on the breath. And there's a way of, the simplest way to do it is just close your mouth, breathe in through your nostrils and feel the air rushing in, and then exhale out through your nostrils and feel the pressure on the nose, inside the nose. You will become very aware when you have to focus. If you just breathe in through your mouth, it's not as forced focusing. But if all you're trying to do is focus on breathing in and breathing out, it will create the opportunity, the space for you to let go of all of the thoughts that are swirling in your head that you have no control over, because you are controlling your breath. So it's, you know, on the breath, in and then out. And just building that practice, it's harder than you think. You're like, what? Just breathing? Are you kidding me? To breathe in and out and only focus on the breath and just let the monkey mind go. Anytime a thought comes in, just let it keep going. Don't let it sit there. Is not as easy as we think. And I'm saying that from personal experience, the woman who lives with like a party in her head of squirrels all the time. So I offer the opportunity and the gift right now to hugely impact your immune system with simple awareness of things that we typically take for granted. And with that, I'm going to pass it back to Joanne for whoever else is speaking up next.
Thanks, Lori. That was great. And yeah, it's funny. We just kind of forget that stillness and breathing is the best way to certainly calm ourselves and just ground ourselves and just be present to the moment and refocus. And we forget because we do it 24/7 without fail until we don't. So our next bit is really just talking about, actually, I'm going to let Jen go on there, and Jen's going to talk a little bit about creating a vision around this time.
Okay, thanks, Joanne. Yes, so I've actually been a certified personal trainer for about 15 years now. I can't believe it, the time is gone. But it's funny how when I used to talk to my clients, I didn't know it was visioning, but essentially that's what it was, because I was trying to get clients to imagine. So they've reached this goal. How do they feel? How does it feel in their skin? And that's essentially what visioning is. I just didn't know I was ahead of my time. So what visioning is and why I think it's so important right now is because, as Lori was talking about, it's hard to picture what the world is going to look like, 10 days from now, 2 weeks from now, 3 months from now. So what's really quite helpful and quite empowering is to take a period of time. So whether it's, I like to use 3 months because I think it's an attainable timing. But it can be 2 weeks, whatever that goal seems to fit. It has to be attainable and measurable. But instead of just looking at it as a bigger thing, the thing with visioning is you're imagining like it's already happened. So for example, you might have, like I had mentioned before, so whether or not it's those last 10 sticky pounds that I talked about the other day, if you can imagine yourself that it's already happened, how do you feel? How are your clothes fitting? How are people reacting to you? How does the world just absolutely open up? What does it do? Does it mean that you can, your knees don't hurt as much anymore? You've got more energy to spend with your kids. There's so many things that opens up for you. And visioning it's not new. Olympic athletes use it all the time. They imagine that they've already won that medal. And how does it feel? They can almost taste it between their teeth. It's that tangible. So the more detail that you can put into that vision, and I know it's difficult, it is hard given what we're doing right now, but it's that much more powerful because it gives you something positive to focus on. And another neat, really little trick that I like to do is to do a vision recording. If you've never done it, I challenge you today to do one. And what that is you're essentially doing that same visioning. So you've got this goal, and I'm going to go back to that 10 pounds, because I think right now everybody's eating and drinking and doing all the things because we're all in this state of, what do we do? So we're gonna use that. So you just pick up your phone, and there's a voice recorder on your phone, and you literally talk to yourself. And you're gonna feel a little weird, and it's gonna feel a little crazy, but you're gonna say, hey, I just woke up today, the sun is shining, my feet hit the floor, you know, the smell of coffee is drifting up from the downstairs, my husband's made coffee. But what I really noticed when I stand up is that all those aches and pains that my knees used to feel, they're gone. And I realized I've lost those 10 pounds, and I walked to my closet, and you get the idea. So you're trying to give as many tangible feelings and, you know, thoughts that you can in this vision recording. And it doesn't have to be long. It has to be maybe, you know, a minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes tops. And it's really fun to put some motivational music behind it as you're talking. So for me, it might be something like Here Comes the Sun, or The Climb by Miley Cyrus, even though I'm not really a Miley Cyrus fan, but it's something that's going to really speak to you when you listen to it. Because we all have those moments when we're, you know, those demons in our head start talking a little too loudly, like, oh, I can't do this, I can't do this. Pull that out of your pocket, press play, and it's so powerful to hear your own words and your own voice telling you you've done this. So that's my little task for you to give that a try, and to really focus on something that's meaningful for you. So another example I gave was, you know, cleaning out that basement, I think is a good one, because we're doing that this weekend. So I'm thinking that that's a weekend thing, but anyway. So just, that's the idea is with visioning, it's not about just the goal. It's how do you feel when you've reached it. So with that, I'm going to pass it back. Actually, I'm going to introduce Cheryl, because speaking of goals and vision, and this lady is unbelievable. And it's been such a pleasure to get to know her and just watch her determination. You're inspiring, my friend. So I have a couple of questions for you, if you're okay with that.
Sure, I think I'll introduce myself first.
Yes, please do.
Is Cheryl Andrioli, and I'm living in Montreal, Quebec. So this is the great thing about these type of calls, is that we can be in any part of the world and we can all connect. And I think in these times, connecting is more important than ever, because as much as we're all in this together, we all have to be apart. So that's not much fun. But yes, Jen, I would love to answer some questions. So go for it.
Okay. Well, I don't know if everybody has had a chance to follow Cheryl on Facebook, but it's quite evident that workouts mean so much to you, and you are in the gym daily. So how are you finding a way to get those workouts in, given the fact that everything, you know, is closed, all the gyms are closed?
Right. Well, quite honestly, the first few days I was in total resistance. I really felt lost, because I've never been one to work out at home. I personally enjoy that environment of the people around me. I find that very motivating. Not that I'm in a comparison mode, but I just find when I see other people working hard, that also pushes me to work hard. And I just find that setting of getting outside your home and in a whole different environment around people, for me, is important. So the first 3 days of this, I did absolutely nothing and also felt terrible. And I have to say, what started it for me was really watching a lot of the people online and seeing what they were doing. And I basically just gave myself a pep talk and said, get off your butt, suck it up, buttercup, and let's get going, because you've been on a great path, a great tangent for the last 7 weeks, and you don't want to let this fall. So I started pulling out the few things that I had at home. I don't have a whole lot of things at home. I started actually Googling for some workouts with just a little bit of equipment that I do have. And then I was out before the huge lockdown came on, and I purchased myself some resistance bands. And I put them in my cart and then took them out of my cart because I said, do I need to spend money on this? And then when I realized they were on sale, I put them back, and it's been the best purchase I've ever done. I don't know if anyone's ever used resistance bands, but they're all different bands that have different weights to them, which is the tension. You get some ankle straps, you get some hand, foamy hand guards, I guess. And then you get this little dinghy here that you can put on the other side of your door, and you can load up several bands at the same time. And that's been a real experience. I'm realizing through all of this that I'm not a person that adapts very well to change, even though I think all of my adult life, in every performance review I said in my work environment in the corporate world, that I was a person that adapted to change. And I'm realizing maybe it's an age thing as well, that I don't adapt as well as I thought I did. And with all of these things challenging us, I realized that I started really going inward instead of outward. And through that, I realized that I'm really in an uncomfortable zone. And I've learned through a process 2 years ago when I walked on the stage and did a fitness competition, that truly the magic happens outside your comfort zone. And so bringing even these bands into my house, I actually had a lot of negativity going on in my head saying, oh, these aren't going to be the same as doing weights, because I love to lift weights. And that was a found passion. It was something I never thought I would like to do, but really enjoy doing. But I can tell you the workouts that I've looked up online using these resistant bands, and I've been posting every day three of the different exercises I've been doing for the most part. I'm doing many more than that, but I've been posting at least 3. I don't want to inundate everybody. I'm really finding it challenging and a good workout. The one thing that I will point out is if you do invest in these, you can get them online. I bought mine at Walmart. Whether they still have some left, I don't know. If people are out and about getting some groceries and things, slip to the exercise area. They came in a box, and I did bring it here. It looks like this, the ones that I bought. They were actually $34.95, and they had them on clearance for $19. And there's 5 different bands with the different hand guards. It comes in this neat little pack. But since I started looking those up online, I'm getting all kinds of different companies in my feeds on social media where you can access these things. So if you don't know where to get them, just Google it, and trust me, they're going to show up in your Facebook feeds, in your Instagram feeds, your social media feeds. There's going to be all different kinds of companies. I'm sure Amazon probably has some as well, and they're not an expensive investment and can be used just about anywhere that you have a door that closes. However, I was doing mine at my front door, and I didn't lock my front door, and I'm not sure if I didn't have the door closed properly, but while doing one of them with 3 bands, which is a lot of tension, my door came flinging open and it hit me in the head. So thank God I've got a hard head. But yeah, so that's what I've been doing, is incorporating those along with a little bit of dumbbells that I have. And I've got a yoga ring as well, and just doing some own body weight exercises.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
so now what made the shift then? What's keeping you motivated? What took you from, oh, I don't want to do this, to, to where you are now? Where did you find that motivation?
As I said, I think it was watching other people that I know online continuing to go forward at home, and really just pushing myself to say, it's a choice. You're going to sit on the couch and stay glued to the TV and watch all this negativity, or you can make a change in your life and keep moving forward. And I wanted to keep moving forward. And I have to say that after I got that first workout in, that was the game changer. Sometimes it's just getting started that's hard. And as soon as I got started, now it's instinctive. I get up and it's the first thing I do. I put my workout clothes on and I go down and I work out.
That's awesome. Yeah, they often say that motivation comes after action. You have to get into momentum, and then the motivation often follows.
And and posting them for me is a self-accountability. If I post them, then for me, and this is what I did for my contest prep as well, when I still had a substantial amount of weight to lose when I was doing that competition, because I did take off 138 pounds to step on stage at 138 pounds. And by putting those things out there, for me, it kept me accountable. And so by posting these things, I, number one, want to help and inspire those that may be feeling the same way I was feeling, to make them realize they're not alone. And by doing that, then people sometimes are now looking for your next day. So in my mind, I say to myself, well, you got to keep going, because people are counting on you posting things there. So it's kind of introspective thing to stay motivated.
And you are so incredibly inspiring. Like it's just wonderful to watch. And I know how many people have been inspired by your transformation. So
Thank you.
last question for you. Is there anything else you're doing to support the exercise component?
Well, definitely nutrition is the largest part of that, and probably 80%, and some will even say 100%, because when you're focusing on your goals, the exercise is so important, but more importantly is what you're putting in your body. And as we are the community here within Isagenix, these products have completely changed my life. This is how I lost my 138 pounds, was following an easy system, using the performance products, which definitely took my whole workouts to a whole new level, and most importantly, the recovery from those workouts, because I was lifting some pretty heavy weights. And they're fast, they're easy, they're convenient, and especially during my meal prep, I was eating 5 to 6 meals a day. So 2 to 3 of those meals were our full meal replacement shakes, which made my life a whole lot simpler than having to cook 6 meals a day. And meal prep, I am not one to want to cook things ahead of time for a week, which I know a lot of people do, but I don't like to do that. So that just saved me a lot of time in the kitchen, a lot of dirty dishes, and they taste great. They're filling, and they're 90% highly bioavailable. And so your body can utilize those a lot easier than they can, for example, a steak or chicken. You need to do a mixture of all of that, of course, and we don't want to stop eating our whole food system. But what this nutrition does for us is twofold.
Yeah. Oh, it's fantastic. That is just, yeah. Well, keep it up, because you're right. Everybody's watching and everybody's being inspired by you. So thank you.
Thank
So
you.
on that note, I'd actually like to throw it back to Joanne.
Thanks, Jen. So I'm just good. That's a perfect segue, Cheryl, because I'm just going to highlight then a few of the amazing Isagenix products that we do use. Let me just get the right view here. Can everybody see that?
Yeah.
Okay, and I wanted to get on the right slide. There we go. So the first thing I want to talk about is just a very simple thing that we can do first thing in the morning that kind of does a natural cleansing and detoxing by a process called autophagy. And this is why we actually are huge advocates of intermittent fasting and doing nutritionally supported fasting days, is because we trigger something called autophagy in the body, which is, again, encouraging our immune cells to go through the body and clean up the garbage that's sort of naturally there in our system, not only from stuff from outside that's coming into our body, but every time a cell fires, there's a metabolic process and a byproduct of that firing. And that creates free radicals, which we need to offset by antioxidants. So one beautiful thing to do first thing in the morning, and it's one of my favorite drinks to have, and I really like it when it's got a lot of ginger in it, is fresh ginger, fresh lemon juice in hot water. And if you have a little bit of unpasteurized or Manuka honey, you can add a little bit of that. Don't go, again, crazy on the honey part, not too much for sweetener, but a nice little bit. Manuka honey has got some great studies behind it to show its healing properties, even raw honey, so unpasteurized honey. So what I do is I grate the ginger, just like it's showing in the slide, and then I take it and I squeeze the juice out of that grated part. And some people just like to peel the ginger and throw in chunks. I find that you get a little bit more bang for your buck when you grate it and squeeze it. And then, of course, using the fresh lemon, a half of a fresh lemon squeezed into that. It's not only a fabulous pick-me-up, it's a great digestive enhancement. Again, it does some cleansing. And if you are experiencing, because I did come back from Ontario on March 9th, and when I got off the plane, which is pretty common for me, as much as I try to protect myself, I have a history of upper respiratory stuff. So obviously I was being very careful, but I still ended up with a sore throat when I got home. And you can probably hear in my voice, I still have a little bit of residual 2 weeks later. And that's me, that's my system. So I use hot water and ginger and and lemon to cut through the mucus and cut through the soreness in a throat, in an achy throat. So it's a fabulous, fabulous drink to have anytime, first thing in the morning for sure. Okay, now I have to just make sure I know how to change the slide. Oh, there we go. Sorry for the digging.
Joanne, can I just ask you, do you take do you peel the ginger first, or you just grate it exactly like that?
If I'm grating it and squeezing it, I don't peel it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. But otherwise, you might want to peel it if you're just throwing it in, just to expose more of the root to the hot water if you're putting in a chunk. Great question. So one of the things that is absolutely supportive of immune function is, we know nutrients, as I mentioned, vitamin C, zinc, B6, really all the B vitamins. And when we're under a lot of stress, we end up using a lot of minerals. And then of course, minerals are the catalyst to vitamins working in our body. And so in this particular combination, we have all the B vitamins. We have something called adaptogens, which targets directly the adrenal glands to help support the adrenal glands in times of stress. I think people are under a little bit of stress and a little bit of anxiety right now, and we're all feeling like we don't know what's going on, and that is creating the anxiety. And you know what, as Lori said, we've got a beautiful opportunity to kind of regroup, go in and just be quiet for a while and enjoy the quiet and be okay with being still and not being busy, because in our regular busy lives, all I seem to hear from people is how stressed out they are. So now that we're at home doing nothing, it's a different kind of anxiety and stress. Not to minimize it, it is still stressful. We still want to support our bodies in the same way. So this is a beautiful, I call it an elixir, because the Isagenix came out with the liquid first, and then now it's in a powdered form. But this elixir is, we call it liquid gold. It has ginger, which I already talked about the benefits of ginger as a digestive enhancement. It's got molasses in it. It's got these beautiful adaptogens, and it also has B vitamins. Not to mention ionic alfalfa, which is very rich in minerals because it has a deep root system that can go in and really gather up the minerals from the soil. And if it's not in the soil, it's not going to be in the food. So this is another reason why we like to superfood our nutrition. And one of the reasons that we are very aligned with Isagenix is because it is to complement our good and clean eating whole food lifestyle. It adds and complements and fills in the gaps. So that's what we're looking for. It's not to replace good eating. You don't do the drive-through at McDonald's and then try to offset with, you know, a couple bottles of something. That's not really the idea. It's to fill in the gaps and to super nutrify, because a lot of times what nutrient levels we're getting are not optimal. We're getting below optimal level for our body to really function well. So we know plants are the bomb. Plants have power. The phytonutrients, the antioxidants that come into vegetables and all our fruit and vegetable matter is what fuels our body for vital energy, especially raw fruits and vegetables, right? And because the sun's energy goes into the plant, and then we're consuming the plant and basically transferring that energy to our cells. And again, as I said, we want to use something that's going to add to what we're already doing. Well, 7 to 10, the Canadian Cancer Society recommends 7 to 10 servings of fruits and vegetables every single day. That's a pretty common message out there. Actually, I would go even higher than that to really, again, reach those optimal levels. But how do we do that if some days we're gapping out? I mean, all of us on this call are very conscientious about our clean eating, but even we on a busy day gap out. So this is where a beautiful green raw food blend comes in that's been low heat dehydrated, preserves all the nutrients, and provides us with those extra phytonutrients, extra minerals, extra antioxidant in a green blend that has kale and broccoli and spinach and purple carrot and spirulina and chlorella, which are fantastic nutrients that, you know, unless you're gonna, you know, kind of dig in and go buy your bottles of those things, you're probably not going to consume those nutrients on a regular basis. So that's why this is an amazing support. We also have the same in a fruit blend. And again, we want to consume fruit, but fruits do have a lot of natural sugars. So we have to be mindful of the amount of fruit that we consume. And we also want to consume the more low sugar or low glycemic fruits. So one way to, again, add that in is we want to emphasize all the berries. Those are fantastic. But how can we get in some of those other superfoods like pomegranate and acai and wolfberry, goji berries? Well, you know, I have goji berries in my cupboard, and a lot of times I go, oh yeah, they're in my cupboard, and I forget to take them out, and I forget to add them to the smoothies or my cereal, you know, my granola or Buddha bowls that I make sometimes. And I don't have to forget when I have a dehydrated fruit blend that's got over 32 different superfoods in fruit form in this blend. I throw a scoop. So my morning routine, and if you're not in the Love Your Body group that we have, which is a Facebook group, we'd love to add you. And I posted a video this morning of making my 1 scoop of greens and 1 scoop of fruits and some vitamin C, because we actually know that a research at the University of Montreal, our former Prime Minister, Jean Chrétien, it's his brother Michel Chrétien, has been doing research on quercetin, which is a vitamin C component. It's the pith part in the fruit and vegetable. The white part is full of bioflavonoids, which is a natural antiparasitic, but they're also finding, and we've in natural medicine, these things have been around for a long time. When science can validate it, that's also a good thing. So in the pith is all these bioflavonoids, and quercetin is one of those. So we're going to get that in a full fruit blend like this that's been dehydrated at low heat to preserve all the nutrition and mix it up. And I've put in some extra vitamin C with those bioflavonoids, and I feel like I got my bases covered. Right, ladies? Thumbs up. Another super important component, which Cheryl talked about, is protein, and using a undenatured, undisturbed form of protein. Chicken and fish are great when you eat them, unless you're eating sushi, and then you got to be careful of your source to make sure that it's not contaminated. When you're eating light chain or light, easily digested proteins like chicken and fish, your body actually is still only absorbing about 30 to 40% if you have a really good digestive system. And a lot of people I know in my professional health practice, because I'm a certified nutritionist, most people don't have a well-functioning immune system or digestive system. So we need help in that area to sort of allow our bodies to absorb protein, which is broken down into amino acids, and all those amino acids travel to different parts of the body, and those are used to repair tissue, produce hormones, and a very important component of our immune system. So Isagenix has lots of different varieties. I've just got one example here of the tri-release protein. There's a plant-based protein and a whey-based protein from Cappy grass-fed cows. That's all undenatured, and that's a fantastic way not only to start your day, you can use it anytime during the day to up your protein intake with an easily digested, very readily absorbed food source. So those are the specific, last one, sorry. Another beautiful product that helps with immune boosting is this one that's got these 3 amazing medicinal mushrooms. And the top one is the maitake mushroom. And just in our beautiful forest out here that we walk almost every day is the reishi mushroom attached to the bottom of a trunk there on the bottom right with the glossy top. And the poria mushroom is the kind of woody one. And all 3 mushrooms have high medicinal properties, all known in Asia as strengthening vital foods, used for centuries, have something called beta glucans, which there is also an extra beta glucans formulation in this Shake Booster Immune that you can put right in your smoothie, any smoothie, or for kids, you can add it to applesauce, or you could put it into organic yogurt or even a coconut-based yogurt. Mix it in with whatever, because it's really got no flavor, so it's beautiful to mix in. And these mushrooms, I mean, if you do just a little bit of reading on your own, they're well studied, lots of properties that are in laboratory show anti-tumor capacities, and they're really working to do more studies on humans to show the health benefits of these mushrooms. Now, again, not too often are you going to go out and whack a mushroom off a tree, and especially if you don't know your mushrooms, I wouldn't suggest that you go forage your own, because you could end up with one that, yeah, just might do you in. So rely on well-established formulations that have already done the work for you, so that you don't die from eating the wrong kind of mushroom. And do yourself a favor. We've got an amazing variety of products to choose from to support your immune function and your daily health and well-being. But certainly all of us on the call today, as well as anyone that invited you to this call, can help select different things that will be more specific to your needs and anything that you want to add to enhance your daily nutrition. So I just thought we'd do a quick go around. We'll go back to Lori, and then to Jen, and then to Cheryl, and just a couple of comments to wrap up our call today. Lori?
Yep, I was just unmuting myself. Because of the screen share. And I'm so glad you went through all of the salient points, Joanne, because the food that we're eating, if we just focus on the the micronutrients, the minerals first, and then the vitamins, particularly at this time, our immune system will be in stellar heights by just looking after that. And most of it is plant-based. So for people who have typically had heavy types of diets with a lot of meat, a lot of fats, a lot of white products like dairy and breads and pastas and potatoes, this is the time to, and you're at home anyways, so you can take your time slowly stepping into the change of lightening up. As we lighten our bodies and clear density, which is fear density and anxiety and all that, as we lift and lighten our bodies, our nutritional needs are going to change, and our bodies are going to be speaking to us more for asking. You might find yourself craving a lot of fruit right now. You might find yourself craving a lot of vegetables, and you don't really want the typical dinner of the meat, potato, vegetable that you're used to. Pay attention to the body speaking, because we are in a new place where there is a lot more light energy that is hitting the planet, and our bodies know best. We just need to get our brains and what we are used to comfort zone that Cheryl was talking about, recognize that you prefer your comfort zone, step into the unknown zone anyway, and just keep giving yourself those pep talks, those pep talks, those pep talks. And this is the time to focus on those micronutrients. And if you don't have anything in your cupboard that looks like what Joanne was showing you, those simple, easy products, I am the same as Joanne. I prefer the convenience and the simplicity of knowing that the quality, the efficacy, and the combinations are right on par by just using my Ionics. I just measure it out and go. I don't have to pay any more attention to it than that. That is perfect right now. That's the right amount of bandwidth that my brain has for this kind of a thing. So that is my message for it. And again, thank you, Joanne, for going in and reminding me of the beautiful gift of particularly micronutrients and minerals that these easy to enjoy and tasty foods have so easily available.
Awesome. Thanks, Lori. Jen.
Yeah, so I wanted to just talk about, or really quickly touch on, is yes, we've got this glorious nutrition. And so we have a really easy functional way to look after our inner health. But I think it's really important to be thinking about what's going on, as Lori said, what's going on up here, because it's so easy to get really pulled in by all the negativity we're seeing on TV and all the various reports that are happening. So I think to take a look inwards and really focus on that positivity, because we will get through this together. And I think the more of a positive mindset we have, the greater success we're all going to have together. So keeping that visioning, looking forward, but making it a very positive outlook, I think is exceptionally powerful. And I think a really good way to do that for me anyway, is to get outside. The closer you are to nature, the more your mind opens up, the more your heart opens up. It just brings, it just grounds you so strongly. So taking care of mind, body, spirit, it all works together synergistically. And I think if you neglect one component, the others suffer. So just be cognizant of that and make sure you're giving them all a workout. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cheryl, do you have a couple of closing comments?
Yeah, I was just going to say, actually, you touched on it a bit, Jen, just simply getting outside. I think what's most important in these times is that we move. And movement is different for everybody. It looks different for everybody. You don't have to use resistant bands. Get out and walk. Dance in your house. Whatever brings you joy is going to change your mindset. I remember once I was in a group and someone said, exercise looks different to everybody. You have to find something that you enjoy doing. It doesn't mean you have to join a gym. It doesn't mean you have to have all this equipment. Just move. So that could be yoga. That could be a walk outside. That could be dancing. That could be climbing your stairs at home. There are so many things we can do to keep active. I think it's really important because being active also boosts your immune system. So just stay active, especially in these times where we're supposed to be in isolation. It doesn't mean we have to stop moving.
Absolutely. Thanks, Cheryl. Fantastic tips. And Roxanne, I see you here, and I'm just going to invite you if you'd like to make a little comment. Roxanne had contributed some fantastic hit ideas from yesterday from our Facebook event in working out. Do you have a couple little exercise at home tips? You might have to, there you are.
Sorry, I'm having technical difficulties.
No worries, no worries.
Yeah, thanks guys. It was all great tips. Again, same thing, outside. Resistant bands, Cheryl, I absolutely love. I take them everywhere I go. Just keep the body moving for sure. And I would have the best nutrition on the planet. So really it's a no-brainer. It's in a package, you add water. You don't even really need to add anything extra if you don't want to. I love banana with the chocolate shake, the dairy-free, but you know, everybody makes their own, what they like. So thanks, ladies, for all of your input. It was great.
Thanks, Roxanne. Thanks. So with that, if you have any questions, this is being recorded. So if you have any questions where we're posting it in different places, it's going to be sent out in an email through all of us. So just get back to the person that sent you this. If you've got some specific questions, we're all happy to chat. So make that time. And I know we're going to be doing this again over the next probably month. And we're going to be coming up with some other new tips. And again, our Love Your Body Facebook group, we share posts and recipes and all kinds of great stuff in there. So with that, have a fabulous Friday. And a fabulous weekend, and just enjoy. Just smile inside and out and enjoy. Life is beautiful. Thanks, everyone. Take care.
Thank you.